Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back. Today we are not playing DBD, as you can see. Definitely not DBD. Today we're just playing Wizard 101, just chilling. Finna be a yapping video. Anyways, I wanted to give you guys my take on something that's been bugging me for a bit. At least every time I turn on my PlayStation or even just my PC in general. A lot of the questions I always ask myself is, are video games getting worse or are we just getting older? You know what I mean? But anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, I've been playing some Wizard 101 lately, and it got me thinking about something. Are video games just actually getting worse, or are we just getting older? Because I swear, when I was younger, I could come home, turn on a game, and literally disappear into it for hours, bro. I would be playing Minecraft and tons of other PlayStation 3 games as well. Or even just chilling on the PSP, bro. Just playing a bunch of games as well on there. And I would just disappear into them for hours, bro. I'd be able to play them no matter what. I didn't care about graphics, and I didn't care about FPS, and I didn't care about metas, or what was the coolest thing to use in that game, or what other people's opinions of what I used or how my skins looked or anything in that game. I didn't really care about it at all. I just wanted to play. I think that was the biggest factor. You just came home from school, you just play, you just wanted to forget for a bit. And now I'll have like 15 games sitting in my library, or I'll turn on my PlayStation and I'll literally just scroll from one end to the other on video games, not knowing what to play. Or I'll just play GTA and just drive around, but it's not even that fun. It's just something to do. Kind of feels like a chore in a way. I don't know. But I started wondering why. Not necessarily that modern games suck, because honestly, there's some incredible games coming out now, but gaming definitely feels different. Anyways, let's get more into it. So, the first thing that I think is obviously the biggest factor of them all. I think it's nostalgia. I think the first thing we have to talk about is nostalgia, because games like Wizard 101 are a perfect example. When I was younger, getting on this game felt like an event. I'd come home, get on the computer, and just start playing. I wasn't thinking about whether another game had better combat. I just enjoyed being there. And I think that's something we don't really realize when we're younger. We're making memories without knowing we're making memories. You don't think, damn, I'm gonna remember this 10 years from now. You're just playing. Then years later, you come back to the game and you're suddenly hit with all those memories. You're like, fuck, I remember this, bro. I remember being this young and playing this game, or thinking this and thinking that. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. I don't think maybe the game got actually worse. Maybe it's just that you just changed and some things just aren't for you anymore. And then talking about change on top of that, it's just really that you grew up. Because think about it. How different gaming is when you're a kid. You have way more time. You can spend an entire Saturday playing one game. Now you've got work, school, responsibilities, bills, whatever else is going on. I don't know, relationships and things of that nature. You finally get free time. And then when you do finally get free time, you're like, I have 2 hours to myself. What do I even play? And then suddenly gaming doesn't hit the same. But is that because games aren't as good? Or because we're not experiencing them the same way? Because there's no way I'm going to experience a game the same way at 20 something as I did when I was 10. My brain isn't the same. My priorities aren't the same. My expectations aren't the same. Another thing at that too is the gaming industry. It changed so much too. At the same time, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. At the same time, I don't think we could blame everything on nostalgia, because the gaming industry genuinely changed. Games used to be more like, you buy the game, you play the game, you finish the game. And that's it. Now it's buy the game, buy the deluxe edition, buy the battle pass. Here's only season 1. Wait till season 2 comes out. Hey, buy this $20 skin that makes you better. Here's a $30 bundle. Here's a limited time event. So many things that happen and go on, bro. There's like, you buy the game, you finish it, whatever, and then there's like 20 DLCs that come out that are like the same price as the fucking game. You know what I mean? Why couldn't it all just be in one? Or even then, there's a lot of pay to win games too. It takes the fun out of it, bro, to be honest. Minecraft, taking Minecraft for an instance. Minecraft was just, you buy the game, you play the game, do whatever your mind could make creative, you build whatever the fuck you want, do whatever the fuck you want with your friends. They even had game modes, whatever. The only money you would really spend on was skins. There was worlds you could buy, but you could just test them out. Play on them for that day and then go on another world. You didn't have to buy the world permanently. That's what I liked about Minecraft. You could play it, it won't save, but you'll at least have that feeling of that, damn, I got to play the Christmas map, I got to play the Halloween map. And I think that's really cool. That's an old game thing. Nowadays it'd be like, no, you can't even try it, you can't even test it to see if you'd like it, you just gotta buy it, which sucks. Oh, and don't forget to log in every day so you don't miss your rewards. And trust me, sometimes I get it, games are businesses, companies have to make money, but sometimes I wonder if we're designing games around keeping people playing instead of simply making the best game possible, something that you love in art, something that you cherish, something that people like, that you're taking serious. It just takes the, I don't know how to say, the emotional value out of the game, something like that. Another thing I wanted to talk about too is live service games. And that's another thing, it feels like everything is a live service game now. There's always another update, another season, another event, another grind, another thing you're supposed to unlock before it's gone. And sometimes that could be fun, yes, because it gives you the rarity and things of that nature. But sometimes I just want a game to feel like complete. You get what I mean? I don't want to feel like I'm playing a second job where I have to grind certain, damn, I fizzled so bad, where I have to grind 20-30 hours just to get one skin. I'm already built up with all these responsibilities in life. Now I gotta fucking stress about fucking, I don't know, a warlock 30 times. I don't know. It just doesn't feel complete, man. Another thing too, there's so many games now where I have to look up a YouTube guide just to figure out what I should be grinding for this week, or what I should be doing, or which path I should be taking, and things of that nature. Damn, I should have put the blade at first. Such a fucking noob. Anyways, sometimes I just want to sit down and play, bro. I don't know. I just guess most games don't really feel complete, and it just feels like a money grab nowadays. Let me know if you agree, dude. Also, they're like one games. Whole issue of games releasing unfinished. I think we've all experienced this. You wait years for a game, you watch the trailers, you're hyped, you finally buy it, and then the first thing you see, literally after buying it, is update required. And that shit's like fucking 98 gigabytes, dude. That shit sucks. Bro, you just bought the game. And I'm not saying that's like a killer thing where it's like you shouldn't play the game at all. But it's like, bro, at least you could do, the least you could do is finish it and make sure no bugs are in there or anything like that. You're using such a high budget, wouldn't you want it to be less perfect as it is? I don't know. That's just me though. But like I said, it's not necessarily bad. Another thing too is that games are insanely complicated now. And I'm not talking about any puzzle matches or story modes where you gotta figure out a puzzle like Resident Evil or anything like that. No, I'm just talking about the complicatedness of why it feels incomplete, what needs to be fixed, why the devs aren't fixing Dead by Daylight, for instance. It's so complicated that the fan base of the game is always arguing to the devs about why isn't this fixed, why isn't that fixed, why is that like this, you know what I mean? And it just makes the game so complicated and not fun at all. It just sucks, dude, and that changes expectations. But I think we've just gotten so used to the idea that games can be fixed later, and that's such a sucky thing to get used to, man, because then you're not really enjoying it right away. But I will say there's some modern games that can be amazing, and the argument that I have to use against myself is because they're still incredible games. We've gotten games with insane graphics, incredible stories, huge open worlds, incredible music, realistic physics, GTA 6 jiggle physics, but even then, like Elden Ring 2 and things like that. But technology has obviously made games better in a lot of ways, so saying games were better back then isn't completely fair either. There are games today that I would have considered impossible when I was a kid, so maybe it's not that games are objectively worse, maybe it's just that the feeling changed. A lot of people use AI now for their games and things of that nature, so it doesn't really feel as real. For Wizard 101, it feels like that, not kiddish, but less that cool visual like gameplay feeling, you know what I mean? And of course there's like big name games like Red Dead Redemption, GTA, Call of Duty, things that are original games that keep getting better and better, that will always be good. Kind of Call of Duty and Black Ops they have their own little boat going on, but God of War and things of that nature have always been super good, super cool, because they've been sticking to the same. They haven't been switching it. There's not a fucking battle pass for God of War or anything, you know what I mean? But they've just been getting better in graphics, which is good. But like I said, it's probably just the feeling that has changed, of it just not being the same no more, or things of that nature. It may be getting to more of the AI look rather than what a video game look would be like, if you guys can't get what I mean. But to the I don't know what to play problem, I think this is something a lot of people experience. I talk to my friends as well, and they turn on their PlayStation and end up turning it off 5 minutes after. I think the whole thing is that we have more games than we've ever had. Steam libraries, PlayStation libraries, Xbox Game Pass, free-to-play games, thousands of games available at any given moment. And somehow we're bored. You ever open your library and scroll for like 20 minutes? You're looking at all these games and you're like, maybe this one, now this one, probably this one. You end up looking at the images or whatever, and you're like, nah. And then you just close the game or just watch Netflix or some shit. Maybe having too many choices makes it harder to actually enjoy one thing. When I was younger, I might have had 3 core games, probably like Minecraft, Black Ops, and I don't know, probably like Wizard 101 or Animal Jam or something like that. So guess what? I played those 3 games all the time after coming from school, and I loved them. I loved playing them. I loved grinding them. I loved just doing whatever, fucking around. Even then, why Wizard 101 still feels different is because I'm sitting here playing a game that isn't even technically new to me, but there's something about it. The music, the worlds, characters, the stupid little things I remember. It reminds me of the time when gaming wasn't something I was analyzing or felt like a second job. It was just something I did because I enjoyed it. And maybe that's what I've been missing. Not necessarily better games, just that feeling. So the real answer is, are video games getting worse? Honestly, no. I don't think there's a simple yes or no. I think both things are happening. The game industry has changed. The games have become more monetized. Live service games have become huge, and some games release unfinished. Companies definitely have found ways to turn gaming into much bigger businesses, but at the same time, we grew up. The things that amazed us when we were kids don't necessarily amaze us anymore. We have more responsibilities, more expectations, more choices. We've already experienced so many games that it's harder to create that feeling of discovering something completely new. So maybe the question isn't, are video games getting worse? Maybe, can a video game still make us feel the way games did when we were kids? And honestly, I think some can. We just have to find the right one. Because I'm getting tired of it being just the original games, the big brand games, like Black Ops, a freaking re-release of an old Black Ops, or Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, or what else is there? God of War, The Last of Us. I want something like Black Myth Wukong, a new company that made, well, I don't know if necessarily a new company, right? But Black Myth Wukong was new, something crazy, which is like, okay, I can see a part 2 coming out for this game. I'm not saying that the big name games are bad or they suck or anything. I'm just like, obviously those games are going to be good. Obviously it's going to be fucking 10 out of 10. But I want a small company or something to really take the time to make a good game to compete with those big games. You know what I mean? Just something new in general. But that's just how I see it. I don't know if I confused y'all, but just let me know. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you actually think modern games are getting worse? Or do you think we're just getting older and nostalgia is making the past look better than it really was? Because I'm genuinely curious. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Now, let me get back to this Wizard 101 quest, because apparently I've got another 47 enemies to defeat before my fucking membership runs out. Peace. Make sure to subscribe and even share it with a friend. I don't know. Later.